Kess and the signal bloom. The wind carried whispers, not voices, just the suggestion of them. Echoes tangled in dust, drifting across the red wastes like forgotten songs. Kess walked through them, scarf pulled tight, goggles fogged with salt. Her boots left no trail. The ground was too dry to remember her. She preferred it that way. The world had cracked long ago. The moon broke first, then the tides, then the cities. Earth blood dried up. Machines went silent. People stopped dreaming. What remained were ruins and rumors, and Kess wandering between them. She wasn't a hero. She didn't want to be. She was a keeper. Her satchel held fragments, a shard of memory crystal, a rusted reclaimer chip, a child's drawing sealed in wax. Each one pulsed faintly like a heartbeat. Each one was a story, and stories, she believed, were the only thing left worth saving. She reached the edge of the bloom. It wasn't marked on any map. No one spoke of it, but she'd heard the signal, faint, buried in static, calling her name. Not her real name, the one she'd earned. Kess. The bloom was a crater, rimmed with glass and salt. At its center, a single flower grew, tall, blue, glowing, a signal bloom, born from earthblood and memory. It pulsed gently, like it was breathing. She knelt beside it. "Hello," she whispered. The flower responded, not in words, but in feeling, a warmth in her chest, a flicker of recognition. It remembered her. She opened her satchel and placed the fragments around it. The crystal, the chip, the drawing, each one shimmered, then dissolved into light. The bloom absorbed them, and then it bloomed wider. Petals unfolded, revealing a core of swirling data, images, voices, moments. Kess saw her sister, Lila, laughing beneath the fractured moon. She saw Blot, dancing in the rain with a frying pan helmet. She saw herself, younger, afraid, holding a broken compass and hoping it pointed somewhere. The bloom was a memory engine, but unlike the one in the hollow, it didn't rewrite, it remembered. Kess sat beside it and began to speak. She told it stories, of scavengers who sang to survive, of machines who learned to love, of ruins that whispered names. She spoke until her voice cracked, until the sun dipped below the dunes, until the stars blinked awake. And the bloom listened. When she finished, it pulsed once more, then released a wave of light across the wastes. Not destructive, restorative. It didn't fix the world. It reminded it. The pulse shimmered across the salt flats like a breath held too long. It touched broken towers and buried bunkers, stirred sleeping data caches and long-dead transmitters. For a moment, the wastes hummed, not with power, but with memory. In distant outposts, children dreamed of blue flowers. In broken cities, old machines hummed lullabies. In the salt flats, a reclaimer paused mid-patrol and looked up at the stars. Kess stood. The bloom had done its work. She turned and walked away, leaving no trail. But the wind carried her whispers now, soft, scattered, waiting to be found. Her shadow stretched long behind her, etched briefly into the salt before vanishing. And somewhere, beneath the fractured moon, the world remembered her. Not as a savior, as a story. Epilogue. The Keeper's Echo. Weeks later, a scavenger named Toma found the bloom. He didn't know what it was. He touched it, and it showed him a memory, not his own, but someone else's. A girl with a scarf and cracked goggles, laughing beside a robot made of scrap and stubbornness. He sat down and listened. The bloom didn't speak. It showed. It showed a world before the fracture. A world of mistakes, yes, but also of music, of firelight, of people who tried. It showed Kess walking through ruins, collecting fragments not for power, but for remembrance. Toma wept. He left the crater changed, and as he wandered, he told others. Not of the bloom itself, he knew better than to give away its location, but of the stories it held. Of the girl who remembered when no one else did. Of the flower that bloomed in salt and silence. The legend spread. Some called her the Salt Walker, others the last archivist. Her name became a kind of prayer, spoken before sleep, etched into scavenged metal, whispered into broken radios in hopes of hearing a reply. And somewhere, in a quiet village by the sea, Kess sat beneath a mended moon, carving stories into bone. She didn't remember everything, but she remembered enough, and the bloom kept blooming.